Welcome back to A Drop of Happy, where we focus on carefree, stress well, light and lively living while reviewing and discussing all things entertainment. This is the podcast arm to my blog, lightv.com, or the website, lightv.com. Live light, stress well, all the good stuff. I'm your host, Wanda Toby, your stress management advocate, and I am changing things up a little bit. I'm trying to be, I'm trying to practice what I preach. And a part of practicing what I preach is to have some discipline and have some structure. Uh, I think I think I'm supposed to do a show about discipline and structure, or I have. It's one of the two. But in light of that, if I haven't, it's coming. So, with that being said, I am actually going to have some structure on my shows. I would like to make an announcement that I'm going to have a new show. It's still a drop of happy, but this one is going to be focused on shorts and stories. So, it's going to be a different podcast. Uh, it's going to be a drop of happy shorts and stories. And shorts and stories is just what it sounds like. It's going to highlight, and I'm going to talk about um, stories that I may be reading or listening to on audiobook. Um, and also, I say shorts and stories because I am unfortunately ridiculously obsessed with short dramas. Yeah. So we're gonna have so the show's gonna be about that. Okay. We're just gonna be talking about that. And I'm gonna give y'all the summary of the different ones that I watch. And it's very niche. So watch it if you will, but that is forthcoming. Now, as far as the structure of the show, I'm actually going to have segments and I'm going to attempt to remain consistent because consistency is key. Oh my God, I'm killing myself. It's so much, but it's true. It's true, right? So, okay, Wanda, you got to be about it instead of just talking about it. So, therefore, I am changing the format of the show and adding a little consistency. So, I usually start with a journal prompt for you guys. And why? Why? Because journaling is very important. Journaling is important for your well being. Journaling helps you think things out. And if you don't, physically journaling would be great for several reasons. One of the main reasons is it gets you away from digital content because we are such ridiculous consumers of digital content, and me included. I probably am addicted to my phone, addicted to all of it. So when you stop and journal, it gets you away from that. And if you're not going to do it physically, if you're not going to get a journal, put pen to paper, which I highly, 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 highly encourage that you do. At least then think about this. Take 5 minutes in your morning or at the end of your day to kind of meditate on this and kind of just think about it and see where you're at. So the prompt is, what's the one thing you do that always brings you some level of joy? And we could even take it a step further. How do you incorporate that thing into your life, your daily life, your weekly life, or what have you? And, or how do you recognize that as being that, right? You might, or recognize that you don't engage in it. So just think about that and see what it is, and then just kind of write about, do you engage in it enough? If you don't, how can you? Um, is it something that you can do on a regular basis, or is it something that you have to plan for? So just kind of think of that, because when we go through life, just doing the thing, doing the regular thing, sometimes we need to pause and enjoy and have an injection of joy. So that is your journal prompt. What's the one thing that you do that always brings you some level of joy? Mine is reading and writing. And sometimes I step away from it. Reading, writing, listening to music, which is why entertainment is my like low key obsession. Um, but sometimes I really can go, which is terrible, but I can go a while without doing it and not even realizing it. So it's kind of like a check yourself, right? Check yourself on what that thing is. So, you know, you can continue to um, have some moments of joy, maybe where sometimes you think there is none, but there could be such a simple way to make your time a little bit more joyful. So, what to expect in the show today? See, you see how I'm being very like, you know, very demure, very methodical, very like trying to stick to my structure. Okay, so what's coming up? We are going to talk about some entertainment shenanigans, just really briefly. And in the entertainment shenanigans, we're going to talk about Coco real quick, Coco Gauff, Tyler Perry. Hot new couple. What's up with the TikTok band, and some other things like that. The main concept, the main topic for our show today is missed opportunities and how it affects us. So, and then we're gonna kind of close it out with basically what's going on, what I'm listening to, what I'm watching, what's coming out, and stuff like that. So let's get into the nitty gritty. I'm nosy. That's what it is. I'm nosy, and I practice escapism. So therefore, why you being celebrity gossip? Why you celebrity news? Because I'm nosy. Not only that, like I like to know, is this going to affect shows and things that I like? So we need to know these things. This not so much. Okay, so R. Kelly, y'all know about R. Kelly. R. Kelly was hospitalized in prison. I guess he had an overdose scare, and this happened this past week. I don't know what the medication was, all that good stuff in prison, but he had a medical emergency, and that happened. I mean, it's not big news. Like he went to the hospital, went for a couple of days, and now he's back in prison. He's serving a couple years. A couple years. No. 30 years for his shenanigans. So that's what happened with him. And it's very interesting because, if you were a huge fan, I was a fan of his music, a big fan. And this is just one of those things where, what did I say? Stressful situations of your own making. I mean, we're not even gonna get into it because, congratulations to Colman Domingo. He won an award, Native Son Award. Again, this was sometime last week. And Anna Wintour presented him with the Native Son Award, spotlighting his strides as a Black queer actor. So, whoop, whoop, go ahead. Beyoncé, her tour, she's on tour. I am going to see her, in a month. Yes, when she goes to Atlanta. So I'm going to see her in a month. But her tour, she's in Europe right now. I've been seeing little clips. It's her Cowboy Carter tour, and it's fire. I hear it's doing well. She's breaking records as usual. Okay, so Teyana Taylor. There's been little rumors. There's been little clips. There's been little, snapshots. There's been her being like, "Leave me alone. Let me get into this new relationship." Well, apparently, she has a new video. I have not seen the video yet. I do, maybe by the next show, I will have seen the video and we can talk about the video, but I have not seen the video yet. But her and Pierre, that's Mufasa. Y'all saw it. By the way, I love Mufasa. Plug for Mufasa. It is now playing on Disney. If you have not seen it, the soundtrack is fire. This might be this might be taboo, but I actually like Mufasa more than I like Lion King. But Lion King was good. Lion King is the original, the GOAT. But anyway, I digress. So they are official, I guess. Anyway, he was in her video, and apparently it's hot and steamy and sexy. I have not seen the video. I don't know if the song is good. I don't know. There's a couple of things that I need to see. I need to see that and listen to that. And then I heard Mariah Carey during the BET Awards dropped a new song, and I heard it was cute. I have not listened to it yet, but I plan to. And so maybe by the next time around, I would have listened to Mariah. Me, Mariah, go back like babies the pacifiers. So maybe I would have, and then, we can talk about it, but I have not. But the point is, they make one darn fine, beautiful couple, Teyana and Aaron. My God. And I hope they're happy. I hope she's happy. I hope it's the real thing. Let me tell you something. You know how Issa be like, she rooting for everybody black? I am rooting for love. I'm always rooting for love. I'm rooting for love. I know. It don't seem people, it seemed like I got like a little tough exterior. It's true. But inside I'm a mush. I'm a romantic, and I am rooting for love. So I am for sure rooting for them. Okay. There was some award shows, because I haven't talked about entertainment stuff in a while. So, but most recently, Kevin Hart hosted the BET Awards. And the one thing I want to say, I didn't watch it. I heard there were a lot of performances. Let me tell. Okay. They get a huge side eye, because how you gonna give? At this, you could have waited next year, or maybe the year after, but y'all gave Snoop the living legend, whatever. Y'all gave him some awards. Man, no. I didn't watch it. Glad I didn't watch it. Whatever. But I heard it actually was not a bad show. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's if y'all could see me. Anyway, but what I wanted to mention, people won, yada yada yada, but the backlash Glorilla is receiving, because she didn't ask for the gospel award, y'all. She didn't ask for it. Somebody gave it to her. The backlash she is receiving, or the conversation amongst the gospel industry is, why did she win? Da, 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 da. Other secular artists have won this award. At least there was one other secular artist has won this award. I don't remember if it was such a big brouhaha when they did, but she made a song with, I think Kirk Franklin was on the song. I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just saying, off of that, she won, and people had a problem with it. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Also, sometime before the BET Award, the American Music Award happened, and apparently it was J-Lo hosted, and it was a hot mess. Ratings are super low. Like, they just need to hang it up. Rumor has it, that's what I heard. J-Lo performed, and child, there's some J-Lo hate going on out there, and she did nothing to dissuade them. How about that? Hey, she did nothing to dissuade them. Okay, so there's that. Now, yeah. Tyler Perry. So, Tyler Perry is out here traumatizing us with Straw. Straw was released with Taraji P. Henson. I will not be watching it because I hear it's a tearjerker. Number one, I have not been watching a lot of Tyler Perry movies. I already gave y'all my opinion on that. I ain't mad at him. He's allowed to stick to his genre and make what he makes. It's just not for me. Some of them. But I ain't mad at him. But I heard, I've been getting mixed reviews. I've been hearing mixed reviews. I cannot speak on it because I did not watch it, but I have been hearing mixed reviews on Straw. Some say it was really good. Some say it was not so much. Some say it was very stereotypical, another caricature. Some say that there was an actual surprising twist. and some say it was like a tearjerker. I ain't trying to. I don't watch entertainment to be traumatized. Okay, I don't. But apparently, viewers are not the only ones that he is traumatizing, because actor Derek Dixon is suing that man for $260 million. Whoa. And this right here, suing him for $260 million because he's saying for sexual misconduct, workplace harassment, sexual assault. And Tyler Perry's lawyers are just like, it's a shakedown. Why do they always say it's a shakedown? Now, y'all remember that guy? He is fine too. He starts his Instagrams with I don't want nothing. I cannot remember his name. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He said he had some tea to drop about a big. Let me find out what this guy's name is. Oh my gosh, I cannot remember his name. Or when I look it up, if I find it, I'm gonna put it in the thing. Anyway, it was like last year. It was after. I remember this. It was after Cat Williams had did his show, had did Shannon Sharpe show, and he was talking about, all the stuff that was going to be coming out. And then this actor, I wouldn't even say he's black. He's like a B-list black famous actor. Yeah. And he works on some of Tyler Perry's show. He has this one show, and everybody thought he was talking about Tyler Perry. He's like, I'm gonna drop dime, and then he never did. I don't know if he was paid off. I don't know. But this person, Derek Dixon, is like, I don't give a, Cassie must have gave him some guts. Again, Tyler Perry's attorneys denies all the allegations, all that. So, hey, more to come. So this person, Brit, since we're on lawsuit situation, this person, Brit Eady, she's suing Bravo for $20 million. I guess she's on the Housewives franchise. I do not watch the Housewives, but this is Real Housewife of Atlanta. Now I know who the chick is. I know who that is. The chick that is part of the lawsuit. Kenya Moore. So supposedly Kenya Moore had revealed some explicit photos, but it wasn't actually Brit. It was somebody else. But nevertheless, they thought it was her and stuff like that. So she's suing. Kenya was kicked off the show. I don't know if she was kicked off the show permanently or if she was just kicked off or if she was just suspended. But let's see. Alleging defamation, sexual harassment, and emotional distress over an episode that featured an explicit-looking image she claims wasn't her. The lawsuit seeks removal of the episode, acknowledgement of wrongdoings, and compensation, including legal costs. $20 million. Man, that's happening. Other thing, Blake Lively, because I be in white people's business too, because I like all gossip. So what had happened was they dismissed Justine Baldoni's counter lawsuit for defamation, extortion, and false claims. The judge found that Lively's statements were legally protected, granting her what her team described a total victory. So here's the thing. They dismissed his case, but Blake Lively still didn't win her case. I am not Team Blake. If I had to choose a side, and I did. It's the Baldini, because regardless how that meant, that's a whole nother. We're not here for all that, because I got other stuff I want to talk about. But that did happen. Okay. In other news, now this is like not old news, but y'all know Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe Unk, who like the little young ones, he is being sued by that OnlyFans model, that young thing. I think she's like in her 20s. Okay. Alleging rape, sexual assault, emotional distress, all this stuff. This is from April. It still hasn't, I don't know if it went to court. It hasn't wrapped up. I don't know. So there's that. And then Chris Brown continues legal battles, arrested in May in the UK on an old assault warrant. And then he has like a $60 million civil claim plus $50 million defamation. Lord have mercy. Okay, listen. Is it that trouble is finding him or he's finding trouble? Which one is it? Inquiring minds want to know. That's what because that people be defending him, but he's somehow always in trouble. I don't. Okay. And another bad boy, you like that, bad boy, Diddy, the Diddy Trial. Let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all who to go to get the Diddy Trial updates. It's not me. I don't got it. I don't got the time. But TV extra host, Mona, that's who y'all need to go to. She's on, her handle on Instagram is MOKOAB, and I'll put it on the page. Not on Instagram, on TikTok. That's her handle on TikTok. She listen, she gives you all the updates. She be like, oh, she tilted her head to the right and she blinked a few times before she spoke. You want all the updates? Go to her page. Mona Kosa. But that's her handle. She's an extra. Mona Kosa Abdi, because I be jacking people's names up, and I do greatly apologize. That's who you want all the tea on what's going on with the trial. That's who you follow. Okay, because all I know is that man is on trial. I mean, I know what he's on trial for. Like, don't do that. But I'm not following it like that. That's the point. Okay. Lastly, I want to talk about is the TikTok ban, y'all. I know some of y'all are not on TikTok. That is fine. I am heavy. It's a problem. Work in progress, but I'm heavy on there, and it's not cute. And it's supposed to be banned June 19th. Here's the thing. When y'all listening, depending on when y'all listen to this, the extension might be in place. It might not, because supposedly they're saying that they're going to extend it. Homeboy, y'all president, 47, is supposedly saying he's going to extend it for another 90 days. Listen, here's the thing. I need it extended because I'm remodeling. I'm redoing my backyard because it's been in disarray for long enough. And I need this to happen. And there's a lot of stuff in the TikTok shop that I'm trying to get. So I need this extension. After that, you ban it, don't ban, whatever. I mean, I'm going to be sad, but it's probably going to be for the best in my life, if I'm being honest. But supposedly, it's supposed to go down. And I don't know by the time y'all listen to this, because right now it's the 18th. Today is the 18th. So there's that. Okay. Moving right along. Let's go into our main segment. What I really want to talk about, and I hope I have enough time to cover this with y'all. It is the quote. So I have a quote. Don't worry about failures. Worry about the chances you miss when you don't even try. This was said by Jack Canfield. I hope just that quote alone touches you in your soul. And it's worth reading again. Is it worth? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because some of y'all don't be doing a darn thing. Don't worry about failures. Worry about the chances you miss when you don't even try. Some of y'all don't be doing a darn thing. Now, if you're living life and you're doing your thing and you're going about and it's hard, I get it. But you at least have to make a plan to do it. Because the thing is, don't then complain when you haven't accomplished what it was that you wanted to accomplish, but you took 0 steps to accomplish it, and now you feel like doo-doo. Here's the thing. Are you like an overthinker? Are you an overthinker? That's the because that plays into things as well. I happen to be an overthinker, um, for sure. And I can definitely get into overthinking when I feel like there's something out there that I didn't do, something that I wanted to do or felt like I needed to do, and I just kept on putting it off, right? And then I feel some kind of way because I'm overthinking about it. Um, and then I get to thinking about that. So not only am I thinking about being a failure because I didn't do the things, right? Now I'm also overthinking because I didn't even try. So I'm stressing out because I didn't even try. Tell me, does that make any sense? And just to briefly, so I'm gonna put this article, but I'm not getting into this article, but um uh and this is just like a part of missing out on opportunities, right? This is just a part of it. The overthinking like contributes to our overall well-being, right? I'm gonna put it, there are 5 types of overthinkers. This is from Psychology Today, written by Alice Boyd. I'm not going to like go into it like I usually do because I have another article that I want to go into, but there are 5 types of overthinkers that you kind of have to look out for if you find yourself in this situation. There's the maximizer. This type is driven by achievement and reward. They want to excel and constantly try to take optimal actions. So an example, you're full of ideas, but still pondering how to best pursue your ideas 3 months or even 3 years later. Come on now. I might be each and every single one of these overthinkers, to be quite honest, right? Because how long am I going to keep planning this thing out? Like, how long am I going to keep doing this? So, for example, their strengths, she has their strengths listed: strong ambition and drive, creative thinking. Oh my God, this is me. Willingness to invest focused mental effort to improve results. Achilles heel: trying to perfect your approach too early before taking action. Do you see how this, I'm trying not to, because this article is so good. I will link it to it. I'm trying not to get into it because I have another article that I feel like is good as well. So, let me see, where did I end off at? Okay, careful thinking to avoid misstep. All right, you attempt to optimize before starting rather than refining only after trying a first version. Careful thinking to avoid missteps can backfire. Overthinking becomes a bigger threat to your success than make mistakes. It goes into like the tools that they need. So you can read that. Well, let's see how much. Let's see. Okay. The maximizer needs to learn to recognize when they're trying to make perfect plans. When them trying to make perfect plans are holding them back. So it takes, like, a lot of this stuff takes a level of awareness, man. Okay, then there's the highly distractible overthinker. This is the second one. This person has many distracting thoughts while trying to get one thing done. How can I be 2 of them at the same time? I'm the maximizer and the highly distractible overthinker. Okay, so this person has many distracting thoughts while trying to get one thing done. Example, you're supposed to reinforce your pool fence that's leaning and about to fall over. But while in the backyard, you notice many other things that need attention. So with that, their strengths An abundance of ideas, their leaky attention filter hinders focus but can boost creativity. Achilles heel, maintaining focus. Well, duh. That sounds like me. Not handling very important things can be crushingly stressful and cause stress to snowball. In other words, a bill is wrong, but you ignore it instead of dealing with it, and it hurts your credit. Then it talks about tools they need. Rather than trying to be self-improve, it may be more realistic to get help and stay up. Yes. Recognize that you might need help. Okay, the ruminator. The ruminator is another one. This person ruminates about their mistakes and shortcomings. They ask themselves, example, they ask themselves a lot of why questions, why they're stuck, why they're imperfect, why they haven't achieved. I just had to, because you're not going to condemn me. You're not. Their strength. Asking why is actually a strength. Many people don't bother. They move through life without questioning things. Ruminators are willing to exert cognitive effort, which can be redirected towards solving bigger problems. All right. Achilles heel, shame. Fat child. Tools they need, like the maximizer, the ruminator craves actual progress and achievement. But you can't get progress and achievement if you don't do anything. Folks, you can't get progress and achievement if you don't do. That's the real right there. Okay. Again, I'm not okay. The worrier, almost done. The worrier, this person holds themselves back, not because they're chasing the best outcome like the maximizer, but because they're focused on avoiding the bad ones. An example, you have dreams you'd love to pursue, but you spend more of your time thinking about everything that could go wrong if you try. Their strengths, society needs people who consider what could go wrong. Achilles heel, an unwillingness to accept some risk of negative outcomes in order to achieve positive ones. Tools they need. Warriors can benefit from having a sense of purpose that feels bigger and more important than avoiding the anxiety. And it goes on, but we're not going into it. So then the fifth one, the person who believes everything is terrible. Oh no, that one's not me. I've met those people. The energy is a little suffocating, okay? The person feels hopeless and helpless a lot of times. I feel like that probably stems from like self-esteem issue, maybe that negativity all the time. Example, they might think a lot about the future of the planet, politics, and society, or why others are to blame for what they're unhappy about. Their Achilles heel, depression proneness. Among all of the overthinker types, this one is most linked to depression. Tools they need, treatment for depression, if applicable, cognitive tools to adjust when the person perceives themselves as lacking freedom or agency. Yeah, they need a little something. Complex humans don't fit into simple boxes. It kind of, the article concludes with, overthinking can be painful, especially when you're motivated to excel, when you're worried about what could happen, when stress snowballs because you struggle to focus on essential responsibilities, when your shortcomings feel giant, or when the world feels hostile. Explore tools to resolve, at least relieve these pain points. Because the thing is, overthinking can contribute to, it can be like contribute to the vicious cycle. It can contribute to you not doing anything, or it can contribute to you feeling bad about yourself about not doing anything, and then you're just in a circle, you're just in a cycle, and it doesn't make much sense, but here you are. So when I was reaching out, when I was researching the impacts of missed opportunities, um, I did find that most of the articles discuss FOMO, which I feel like I understand, but I feel like it doesn't really hit the mark, because I feel like FOMO is a component of missed opportunities, definitely, but it still doesn't quite cover like the impact of missed opportunities, I feel. Um, and what is FOMO? What is FOMO, you ask? This is the article that I'm going to kind of want to talk about a little bit more, a little bit more. Um, but what is FOMO? So I'm sure you've kind of heard about FOMO by now. Fear of missing out, FOMO. Have you heard it? FOMO, fo, fear of, mo, missing out, fear of missing out. Um, Oxford Dictionary, Oxford Dictionary defines it as anxiety that an exciting or interesting event may currently be happening elsewhere, um, other around by what may be happening elsewhere with other people by and you see it by posts on social media. So because it's a big social media connection, right? And again, I do feel like it's kind of short-sighted because it can be linked to other things, right? It could be applied to other scenarios, like so many other scenarios just beyond social media. But I understand the definition is based on the root cause of FOMO, which is social media. So the concept was introduced in 2004, specifically to describe how people may feel when scrolling on socials and they're seeing like exciting things happening, whether it's with their friends, exciting thing happenings that they're not a part of, whether it's with their friends or other people, other events and things like that. And here you are missing out on all these things. So that's kind of where the concept, I guess that's when it was popularized. But personally, funny enough, I learned about the concept when I was researching. I'm a Capricorn, y'all. I'll be trying to find a whole bunch of different things to do. So just I was researching day trading and swing trading because in another life I was going to be a day trader or a swing trader. Okay, so and it was introduced as one of the pitfalls to investing, and something that you should be really on the lookout for because one can experience the fear of missing out on a big win, missing out on a big deal. And missing out on a chance to make all this money, and then what happens, it affects your investment decisions. Yeah. So this issue, it can also have health implications, by affecting our mental health, our well-being, all that, because it can cause increased anxiety, stomach tensions, basically like your stress response hormones, because you're so like, oh my God, you're so worried about missing out on things, and feelings of emotional distress, like real bad, real bad. So Cleveland Clinic, this is the article that I kind of want to go into, this Cleveland Clinic article. It's a really good article. The article is titled FOMO. FOMO is real, how the fear of missing out affects your health. This article is edited by the Cleveland Clinic. Again, I will link to it. It is in the Health Essentials section, and it says your physical, mental, and emotional state may be at risk. And it kind of focuses on like almost like the detriments of scrolling, but let's focus. We're talking about the fear of missing out, which also translates to the fear of missed opportunity. This is just like one aspect, right? So, you're late night scrolling through Instagram or TikTok, and suddenly you stumble on a series of photos or videos of your friends or family having fun without you. You ask yourself, why didn't they invite me? Did they just forget to include me? Pause. We're gonna pause, right? Because sometimes like you be like you hear somebody, they're doing something and you weren't invited, and you might not even was like gonna go, but you would have liked the opportunity to decline because it lets you know, oh, you would think they were at least thinking about you. So then sometimes when you see the things, you're just like, oh, they look like they're having the feeling is different because I think it's like deeper of just fear of missing out. It's like, dang, y'all didn't even think about me. Like, what am I, chopped liver? This is me injecting my thoughts. Going a little bit further. Let's hop back in. And then just as quickly you're feeling that you're falling down a rabbit hole of trying to make sense of it all, wondering what you did wrong, wishing you had been included, scrolling through their social media profiles to find clues for what made them leave you out in the first place. Ultimately, you're left simmering in sadness, guilt, or shame because you developed the fear of missing out. Okay, let's pause. See, it kind of alluded to that. It's more than just like, oh, you're missing out on the fun. It's like, well, why wasn't I included in the first? Why wasn't I even asked? Why did you do this? So it's not like, it's like if you knew about the situation, if you knew about it and you were included, that's the different story because now you have autonomy and you were able to make a decision and you weren't left out. You just chose, which is completely different, right? Talking about this scenario specifically. Okay, so going back to the article, FOMO, or fear of missing out, has become all too prevalent over the last couple of decades. It's an experience that many of us are familiar with. Yeah, even if I'm not scrolling through social media, even if it's like I didn't pause out, but whatever. Even if I like hear about somebody, I'm just like, well, y'all doing well, why were I invited? Or whatever. Okay. And while it directly related to our self-esteem and self-worth, it also has a direct effect on our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. I bet you didn't think it. I bet you didn't think it. Because oftentimes we don't think, I didn't pause out of that one either. We pausing out. But oftentimes we don't think of our mental and emotional health. We really take our mental and emotional health for granted and our stress well-being. We take that for granted, okay? Hopping back in. How could you not? When everyone else around you is having fun without you, what can you do to feel good about where you're at and what you're doing on your own? Clinical health psychologist Amy Sullivan breaks down all the nuances of FOMO and shares advice for how to avoid it or how to manage it when it inevitably creeps up. So now we pause out. Now the article is going to go on and talk about what is FOMO. Then after that, it's going to talk about why does FOMO happen, which that one, I really like that section because it really gives you some insight, right? Then it's also going to talk about how does FOMO affect your health. And I think I alluded to that a little bit earlier. And then it'll go into giving tips to help overcome and deal with FOMO and very, very helpful tips. So what is FOMO? As I said, it is the fear of missing out. It refers to the feeling or perception that other people are having fun, experiencing new things, or living a better life than you. We're going to pause out. So that includes like, remember back in the day, you used to watch The Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous. I don't know if like, I was like, ooh, I didn't feel like I was missing out because I was like, oh, that's nice. I could get that. But it's a little different now when you kind of seeing like regular folks on social media flossing and whatever. And I guess you kind of feel like you're missing out on the things that they possibly have. Because they are living a better life than you. Okay, so back into the article. Where was I left off? All right. And while it most often pops up when you see or perceive these characteristics in people you love and you're close with, it can also occur with parasocial relationships. When you see people you don't know but follow on social media doing really cool things you wish you were doing, it can have a lasting impact on how you feel about yourself. Let's pause. Because here's the thing. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this later, real briefly, right? Because some of this stuff of, if you already, here's what I'm trying to say. If you already feel a certain way about yourself, if you already have maybe some underlying low self-esteem or just not as self-confident, like if you already feel that about yourself, obviously this does not help the situation. This does not make things better. You feel me? It does not help, right? Okay, hopping back in. With the advancement of social media, people are feeling like they can't escape FoMO. Dr. Sullivan. We have access to everything 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and most people are on multiple platforms. Because of this, people are feeling like they're missing out or they're not doing enough to reach their full potential. We're going to pause. So I recently did a presentation on doom scrolling and clickbait and all that. And in that was, we don't have a rest from like news and social media and whatever. And then one of the things to deal with that, again, I mentioned journaling, which is just taking a digital break. But one of the things to deal with that, and they might talk about it later, but I'm going to mention it now, is to really curate your feed. One, just cut down, obviously. But if you're, for whatever reason you choose not to cut down, you're not able to cut down, no judgment here. But it's to curate your feed. Because there's so many things out there that you could be having access to that don't necessarily make you feel that way, but and could possibly even make you feel good. So really, curating your feed will be super helpful in that vein. So FOMO isn't entirely dependent on social media, though social media perhaps is the biggest culprit. But FOMO can happen to anyone, anywhere, anytime. Like an athlete who frequently sees somebody they look up to working out in the gym for 4 to 5 days a week may experience stress associated with the belief that they're not able to commit to the time or keep up with such standards. Someone who enjoys reading may become triggered by someone else's long list of books they've read over the course of the year and may feel as if they're not smart enough, educated enough, or able to maintain that level of comprehension. We're going to pause. I can relate to that. Because why? Because I be reading. Or I used to read so much. I don't read as much anymore. And I have reader's envy. Is that a thing? I don't know. I'm calling it that. That's what I'm calling it. I have reader's envy, right? Because I be like, dang, how they got time to read all those books? I want to be able to read all those books. I mean, I don't feel like I'm uneducated or incompetent or whatever. I just feel like I just don't got the time. But I do kind of like, maybe I do have FOMO. I do kind of have FOMO because sometimes I want to hop on the book that everybody else is reading, which I don't know what to say about that. I don't know. Sometimes, or I just want to read bottom line, I can relate. We're going to hop back in. Someone who wishes to be more socially involved or active might feel left out, anxious, or like they're not doing enough whenever they see or hear about other people traveling, going on adventures, and experiencing things they've never experienced before. Let's pause. Here's the thing. Okay, this is so weird. Again, how I can relate. You can relate in your own way, but the point is that we all experience FOMO in some way, shape, or form. Let me tell you something. This is a transparency moment, okay? I am not a neat freak. I am not OCD. Listen, I'm not hoarders or anything like that. I feel like if I could afford it, I would need a cleaning lady to come up in this piece like every week. But I have friends that they are just able to keep their place spotless. And I'll be like, dang, how you do that? And I'll be a little envious. I don't know if that's the same thing. I don't know if I'm just way off, but I feel like that's along the lines, because I'm like, or when you see online, you see people's place and you like, dang, or they could afford a housekeeper and you like, ooh, or better yet, just all right, I'm totally like off, totally off. We gonna get back into the article. So hopping back in many ways, modern day FOMO is similar to a long time phenomenon known as keeping up with the Joneses. The pressure of having to meet or exceed your neighbor's social status, wealth, and popularity. Let's pause. Do people still say keeping up with the Joneses? I feel like old heads still say it. Aunties still say it, which is me. I'm claiming it. It's okay. Ain't no shame over here. I do. I feel like older people still say it. Oh, but the young people probably don't. They probably don't. But keeping up with the Joneses, yes. Thank you. That's exactly why. That's exactly what it is. All right. I'm pausing the conversation. Back to the article. Why does FOMO happen? FOMO can affect anyone, like the article said before, but certain people are at higher risk of FOMO if they have underlying mental health conditions or have low self-esteem. I like when I say stuff in it, the professionals. I'm a professional, okay? But the higher professionals corroborate. All right. Yes, it can definitely be exacerbated. It can definitely be made worse if you already have these preconceived things going on, these preconceived ideas about yourself, whatever. It can definitely make it worse. Of course, social media isn't all bad, but it can be particularly harmful if your personal relationship with your body image is in disarray. And in particular, anxiety disorder and depression both lend themselves to experiencing FOMO more frequently and longer lasting effects. Oh, child. What concerns me is people who are predisposed to emotional disorders like anxiety or depression typically withdraw or avoid situations, and their way of connecting with others may be through social media. And their way of connecting with others may be through social media. That's the way I read it. Did not sound right. Notes Dr. Sullivan. The human experience is all about connection. So we have an innate need to connect. But in the instance of a person with anxiety or depression, the majority of their connection may be through social media. So now that they're relying on the thing to enhance we pause in, let's pause out. But now they're relying on the thing to enhance their connection, but subsequently can be harming them too. So the article goes on to say a 2017 study correlated more daily social media use with a higher chance of having an anxiety disorder, while a 2022 study suggests depressive and anxious symptoms worsen the longer we spend time on social media. Oh. While social media likely isn't going anywhere anytime soon, how we use it and how often we use it certainly has a direct impact on our ability to experience FOMO. Well, duh. Like, okay, rocket scientists. Sorry. When we have basic needs that are unmet and we depend on social media use to satisfy those needs, it likely compounds the severity of symptoms we're experiencing. Studies also suggest that FOMO is a negative emotional state resulting from unmet social related needs. So FOMO is probably the most hurtful in teenagers and younger adults, specifically because they are trying to figure out where they fit in life and what groups they fit in, shares Dr. Sullivan. Let's pause. So for sure. But I think adults that are out of that are susceptible too. I think anybody who and I've talked about this before, who does not understand their values, who hasn't had established values, who don't know who they are, who don't know what business they stand on, it's definitely going to be more impactful. For sure, more impactful. What the heck? Hold on. I have a situation here, guys. I don't know how to. Let's see. Sometimes I don't know how to work my equipment sometimes, and this is one of those situations. Okay. I'm figuring it out though. Hello? All right. I had a technical difficulties that I was attempting to figure out. And if y'all don't know, it's a one take wonder over here. I might cut out some like long pockets of silence. Like it has to be long because I feel like this is totally I'm totally on a tangent, but I feel like sometimes we try to be too perfect. Like give you the perfect show, give you the perfect whatever, and I just want to have a conversation. So some of that, this is not AI. Well, I'm not using this. This is like really me talking, and it's not going to be edited perfectly, what have you, because I want the realness. So sorry for the tangent, but anyway, all right. So now the article is going to talk about how does FOMO affect your health. Let's see. All right. So the fear of missing out can have direct impacts on your physical, mental, and emotional health. You might physically experience some symptoms associated with anxiety that include stomach tension and nausea, headache, body aches, heart palpitations, and increased heart rate, feelings of emotional distress. Also, some of these are stress response things too. Mentally and emotionally, you might experience an increase in intrusive thoughts. And especially if we're going to pause, especially if like you're an overthinker on any one of those categories that we thought about, man, all right, hopping back in. You might become consumed by the cycle of negative self-talk, making it more difficult to manage and believe in your own sense of self-worth. If at any point any of these symptoms become increasingly disruptive, it's important to ask for help. From a psychological standpoint, when it starts to impact your daily life, we know there's an issue. And that's any domain of life: social interaction, athletics, school, relationships, states Dr. Sullivan. Whatever it may be, if any aspect of your life is disrupted, we need to be able to identify the root of the problem and any potential solutions that can help. Okay, so we're going to pause. So the thing is, like trying to get it right, trying to get through life requires a lot of self-awareness, but not only self-awareness, but like being honest with yourself. So that's why sometimes people listen. That's why sometimes people will listen to the podcast and people will read self-help books and whatever, because it helps you be real with yourself, even if you're not trying to be real with yourself. I think that's why people like horoscopes, because horoscopes bring out an aspect of yourself. It's like a mirror, like they're generic enough so that in reality, you're putting into it what you are and what you want to see, but then you kind of treat it as a reflection, right? Otherwise, you will suffer more if you don't have like a real let's be for real talk with yourself, because then how are you going to know? Again, it goes back to your values, it goes back to who you are, it goes back to your level of self-esteem. And how are you going to know there's something wrong if you don't know what your baseline is, if you don't know who you are? That's when you just be all over the place and your life just be going downhill and you like, what? How did I get here? Why am I here? What am I doing? Or you can choose to ignore certain things, which I've been guilty of that too. Okay, let's focus, because it's not all about me. Let's focus. Okay, tips to overcome and deal with FOMO. This show gonna be a little bit longer than I had intended, but I really want to get through this article. It's really we just bear with me for a few more minutes, okay? Tips to overcome and deal with FOMO. So, is the solution of FOMO to simply as simple as taking a break from social media, or are there other ways you can learn to cope with stress associated with online use? What we have to do is set appropriate limits. Okay, hold on, let me pause. So can we answer that question? No. Because let's say you take a break from social media, you've not changed anything with yourself, addressed anything within yourself, and then you go back to social media. Guess what? You're back to square one. It's like in a former life, when I was getting my first advanced degree, I had to do a counseling session, and I had to do it in these schools, like these alternative schools. And so you do all this work in the school, but then the kid would go back to the same environment. And it's like all the work that you did unraveled. Just about. Not all of it, because, you would like to think you had some type of impact. Needless to say, that drove me away from like going into mental health and having a practice and all that. I think I would have been good at it, but I didn't. I didn't become licensed. Okay, I was thinking about it and I was like, oh, these kids, no. But that is kind of what that's like. So just taking a break from, going back to the article, so just taking a break from social media, it doesn't do anything if you don't have like a mindset shift before you go back. If you don't, address, so that's not enough. That's basically I'm answering that question. Hopping back, what we have to do is set appropriate limits and do a value-based assessment of our goals and what helps us to achieve those goals, including our use of social media, says Dr. Sullivan. Some helpful solutions for avoiding and managing FOMO include, I love it when the article agrees with me or I agree with the article, whichever way you want to take it. I love it. Recognizing your feelings and setting limits. When we start to feel physical or psychological symptoms, we know it's time to stand up and take a break, says Dr. Sullivan. We have to set limits. This can look like deactivating your social media account, saving social media involvement for the weekend when it's not disrupting your work, or imputing time limited or imputing time limits on your smartphone so you can only access certain apps for a limited amount of time, blah blah blah. So that's one thing. Okay, like set limits for yourself. Okay, I'm gonna go through this because time's a ticking in this a lot. Okay, identify your triggers. Sometimes FOMO can be paralyzing, says Dr. Sullivan. It pulls you into this rabbit hole and paralyzes you. For this reason, if you identify what your triggers are, you can work towards avoiding those triggers or prepare yourself for how to react when those triggers occur. Okay. Then she kind of gives some examples and stuff like that. Okay. The next thing is develop your sense of self. Pause. This one is super important. Like if you do anything else, I cannot stress enough the importance of developing your own sense of self. Developing your sense of self is vitally important in all stages of your life. When we start to look at ourselves as complex individuals, we recognize what we bring to the world and our relationship, and we recognize our own our own worth, says Dr. Sullivan. It's also important to recognize what our values are and what our interests are. And sometimes it's okay if those values don't align with other people, especially if they're important to us. Like, she goes on to talk more about this, but seriously, I cannot stress enough developing your sense of self, knowing your values, knowing who you are, knowing what brings you joy, like taking a self-assessment and knowing, I mean, I've said this throughout this article. I say it all the time because it's super important. And it helps build your self-esteem, and it helps you combat like low self-esteem issues. So when I tell you, I can't stress enough. Okay, the other one is evaluate the reality of social media. Out of FOMO comes other things like JOMO, the joy of missing out, Jesus, and ROMO, the reality of missing out. And it's the reality piece that's important part. Remember, what you see online is just a sliver of what actually happening behind the scenes. Yes, we're going to pause. Let's pause because it has to be said. That mess is not all real. That mess is curated for you. That mess is designed to make you see what they want you to see. It's not the really real. It's not it's designed for perfection. And again, you have to curate, like if that's what you want to see, you have to recognize. So yes, evaluate the realities of social media. And of course, seek assistance. This says seek assistance from a psychologist, but seek assistance. Let's start with that. Because I know some of you be scary and stuff, and you don't want to see a psychologist, you don't want to see a psychiatrist, whatever. Seek help. How about that? Let's start somewhere. Let's start with allowing yourself to seek help. You can embrace a lot of these management tools on your own, but sometimes situation can be a bit more complex, especially if you're not sure where to start. So how about we start there? How about we start with seeking help? Okay. So, and that's kind of how the article ends. And it's a good article. I'm going to post it because I didn't read everything word for word, read the article, get tidbits. Again, between that and the other one, they will be posted. But so missed opportunities can definitely increase the impact and the feelings associated with FOMO. Okay. I think it also affects our morale. Because as discussed in the Cleveland Clinic article, as to why we have FOMO, it is linked to like a sense of self and depression and low self-esteem. Basically, like Escape says, the cause and cure is you. I never said I could sing ever, but y'all know I get so weak in the knees, blah, 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 the other lyrics. But the point is the cause and cure is you. You can fix it. You can help yourself out. You can align. You can make it happen. The cause and cure is you. Okay. And again, I can't stress enough the impact of trying versus not trying at all. Going back to because we about to be out. I can't stress enough the impact of trying versus not trying. Like I can't. It's like if you're living but you're not living. Like you're going through the motions but you're not really living because you're not really trying. We really have to shift our mindset and find success in doing, because sometimes the ultimate outcome may not be all that, or we might get there and we be like, oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be. This is it. Or you might get there, you might accomplish what you're trying to accomplish and be like, well, what's next? I'm ready for the next thing. Like, this is nice. I like this. There's so many ways, there's so many options, right? Um, you you really have to change and shift your mindset to, and I know this is going to be so cliche and I am so sorry, but sometimes it's cliche for a reason. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the ride. Like, okay, because if you do nothing, you're stagnant, and stagnant is just that. You might as well, then you're not even a plant, because plants at least grow. You decaying. That's what it is. You rotten. You are rotting. Ooh, that sounds really bad, y'all. I don't. I feel like I just called y'all a corpse, and that sounds bad. But y'all know what I'm saying. And then to recap, don't worry about failures. Worry about the chances you miss when you don't even try. That is the recap. And I just don't have time. Part of this whole show was to be like, hey, what y'all doing? What y'all reading? What y'all going on? I don't got time. What I do have time for is to tell y'all, if you liked it, like, share, subscribe. Please tell your friends, tell your mother's friend, tell everybody. You can tell everybody. A drop of happy, where all streaming, major streaming. I hope you enjoyed this little segment, and you continue to focus on your health, wellness, well-being. And this is Wanda. Live light, stress well.